Hey guys, what's up? It's Nick with you. Now I'm going to be answering the question of the week. The question of the week this week is quite simple. What is your favorite subject in school? Now, I'm not going to surprise you. My favorite subject in school was English. Actually, I didn't study in Moscow. I didn't study in Russia. I studied in Spain. I went to a British school where all of my teachers only and exclusively spoke English. We had one abnormality, which was our Spanish teacher, who rarely spoke a bit of English and a bit of Spanish. But for the most part, and for the vast majority, most of the students and most of the teachers exclusively spoke English. This was wonderful. This was an amazing and very developing and nurturing environment to learn English. The reason why it was so nurturing is because I didn't feel the need. I didn't feel like an outcast when I was trying to speak to somebody in English. Actually, in our groups and in my class, whenever somebody tried to speak another language that was not English, they would often be scolded and possibly even thrown out of the room. Which is why maybe I have become quite a strict English teacher, although you guys always make fun of me. The other reason why I think English was also a wonderful language and I found it so interesting to learn was because I had learned other languages before I stepped into English. I abided the rules that I followed in other languages in English. And funnily enough, because all of these languages derive from Latin, I didn't have such a hard time. Most of my kids and most of my classmates were struggling to get the grades that I was getting while I was learning English rather easily and was enjoying the process itself. So this is why I thought English was my best subject and I loved it to death. What about you guys? Which was your or is your favorite subject in school right now?
Hello everyone, awesome to see you. Today we are going to discuss something that determined the rest of my life. Which subject is your favorite? Well, my favorite subject is, many of you would probably guess, English, and you are wrong. My favorite subject was geography. I really liked geography because I was intrigued about learning at it from a young age. I remember learning about different types of food, different cultures, different religions, different everything, and it felt strange. Why would I limit myself to living in Canada for the rest of my life? I knew from a very young age that I wanted to travel the world and I was hungry to do it. So what did I do? After I went to school, I traveled, I went to many different countries, and then I decided, you know what, let's pick up and move to China. I moved to China because my favorite teacher who taught geography was Chinese. That's right. She influenced me so much speaking about China and showing us different types of materials about her country, even took us on a field trip to really go into depth and show us about her country. I listened and I seen so much that I decided to live in China for over 2 years. I lived in a city called Shanghai. In Shanghai, I learned to speak Chinese and I've really seen a lot of China. I think China is a very beautiful country and the traditions are so different and there's just something about geography that spoke out to me when I was in school. And I think it's really important to listen to your instincts. If you're in school and you're not sure, but you do have favorite subjects, let those subjects speak out to you because it's a good sign to indicate maybe what your skills are, what you're going to be good at in life. If you love working on a computer and you decide to be a doctor, but you feel like fainting when you see something like blood, it's probably not a great decision to make in your career. So listen to those instincts. What can you tell me about your favorite subject?
Hello everyone, Jonathan here. I've been asked to talk to you about my favorite school subject. It's a bit of a weird question because most people don't really have a favorite school subject. Some people just have a school subject they hate the least. But I actually really do like my specific school subject. The subject I'm going to talk about is maths. Not everybody's favorite subject, but there is a reason for it. So when I think about school subjects, Specifically, the three main subjects. I think about English, well, for you it would be Russian. I think about maths, and I think about science. A lot of people think that that's just what you're learning. I think these are three fundamental skills that you are taught. English for me, or Russian for you, is not just teaching you how to speak, how to read, how to dissect some quote from a book. It is about communication. It's teaching you how to communicate with other people, how to be able to have an idea and convey that idea to other people. Science is all about taking information that maybe somebody else already knows or has expanded upon and using that, being able to read that information and understand it quickly and efficiently. And maths is all about logic. You have a problem, you need to find a solution to that problem. Now, obviously maths is doing that with numbers, but the skills that you learn in maths can easily be translated to the rest of your life. Algebra is a perfect example. You have x somewhere in the formula, and you need to find out what x is. You have to manipulate everything else to find out what x is. It's logic, it's problem solving. I have a problem. I have all these other factors. I need to find out how to resolve this problem. Well, I need to resolve these other factors first. This is why I really enjoy maths, because it's like playing a logic puzzle game. Anyway, what's your favourite subject at school?
Hello, how are you doing? Eddie here to talk to you again. I hope you're having fun at home and you aren't missing school too much. Now that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to tell you what my favourite subject was when I was at school. Now, as you know, I'm very, very old and I finished school a long, long time ago. But many years ago, when I was younger and I did go to school, I liked it. I enjoyed going to school, unlike most of my friends and most of my family. When we are younger, we get told what we have to study. We have to study English, like in Russia. We have to study history. We have to study some science and some maths. I liked everything except maths. But when we get to high school, we get to choose a language to study. In New Zealand, you can usually choose between Maori, which is the native language, Spanish, Japanese, or French. And I chose French, which was a very good decision because it immediately became my favorite subject. I always had great French teachers, I enjoyed learning the grammar and the vocabulary, and I always got very, very good marks in French. As well as that, it always felt useful. When I was studying maths, I never felt like it was something that I would use in my life. But when I was studying French, I was learning how to really speak another language, and it immediately felt useful and applicable to my life. I enjoyed it so much that when I finished school and started university, I decided to keep studying French. I went in the French program at my university and I finished the whole time in French, and I spent 6 months in a university exchange in France learning the language in a native environment. I also took up German when I was in university, but I never enjoyed it quite as much as I did when I was learning French. So to this day, it was great because now I can speak French pretty well, and I feel like it was a really useful experience for me. So what about you? What is your favorite subject at school?